Welcome back to another quick ADD's action figure obsession video. One of the things that I'm obsessed with is my Spider-Man display, which now is on its third life. I've had two previous purges, but it seems to be on the upswing once again. And here we have the Hasbro Marvel Legends 2020 Spider-Man Retro Series Gwen Stacy. Pretty much she came out of the package. The 2020 Peter Parker from that same retro series, Wave 1, except with the Peter Parker unmasked head from the Renew Your Vows 2-pack. Then we have, to that Peter's right, we have a more adult Peter. I think of him as the Parker Industries Peter Parker from when he was running that company. And had some wealth, I think, in the wake of Otto Octavius exiting his body. That is the MCU Matt Murdock from No Way Home with another one of the Renew Your Vows Peter Parker heads. I bought 5 of the Renew Your Vows 2-packs the day they came out because I'd seen enough Spider-Mans come and go, especially with Peter Parker heads and wall crawling hands. That stuff always gets expensive on the aftermarket if you're buying it in bits and pieces. So it just seemed better at the time to pay up and get 5 of those sets. And then on the far right, see, basically this lineup of 4 characters represents the 2 great loves of Peter Parker's life. So on the left, the far left there, Gwen Stacy, and on the far right we have Mary Jane Watson. Who, of course, for a while was Mary Jane Parker, and then they, changed that and retconned that away, I think. Or at least they think, in the minds of the characters they did. I guess it still really happened, but, Mephisto or whoever wiped it all out of people's memories. But, yeah, Mary Jane is actually the Netflix Jessica Jones body, which originally was the Mary Jane body from the Toys R Us 2-pack back around 10 years or so ago, with the head from the retro Black Widow from the Wave 1 retro series figures from, I think, 2017, the ones that came with the Punisher and Captain America and Iron Man and the brighter colored Pizza Spider-Man, that first Marvel Superheroes retro wave. Yeah, that's the head from the Black Widow, which originally was designed as a head for Mary Jane in that Spider-Man 2-pack. And I think it still looks like Mary Jane. It's, I think, the J. Scott Campbell sort of interpretation of Mary Jane. And it's the same body that the Mary Jane figure in that 2-pack had. The only difference is they added the boots and the gloved, fingerless gloves and the jacket. Originally, Mary Jane was just wearing, I think, like a black tank top. I think it was her Face It Tiger, you just hit the jackpot look, if I recall correctly. But anyway, so here we have the 2 great couplings of Peter Parker's life, or the 2 great couples that he was a part of, him and Gwen, and him and Mary Jane at 2 very different stages in his life. I think of the retro Peter Parker in the brown members only jacket and the blue pants and the white sneakers. I kind of think of him as the sort of post college, maybe 24, 25 to 30. And then, the Parker Industries Peter Parker was probably, 30 to 35, somewhere in there. And, they age them and then they de-age them. These things go in cycles. If you read comics or, you collect the toys long enough, you realize that everything is cyclical. Sooner or later, everybody gets de-aged or has their history revised. If you don't know what I'm talking about, look up Teen Tony Stark. In the Iron Man comics of the 90s. Teen Tony was probably one of the darkest moments and most ridiculous moments in Marvel Comics history. But it's a thing that happened, and I remember it. I like both of these couples equally well. I like to think that Peter and Mary Jane are out on a night on the town. He's got his best suit on that he borrowed from Matt Murdock, apparently. And, she's wearing one of her get-ups from one of her modeling gigs. And, Gwen is wearing her iconic The Night of Her Death outfit. From the Death of Gwen Stacy storyline, and Peter's just wearing his just a newspaper photographer working for a living kind of outfit, and that is basically the 4 of them, and that's what they look like in my display. And then if you're wondering whatever happened to the original head from the retro Peter Parker on the left, well, here's that head right here. Let's see if we can get him to to stand up. He's on one of the really bad suited bodies that doesn't like to stand up. But he looks a little uncertain, perhaps a little unhappy. Perhaps he's wondering why it is that these other versions of himself are able to get these beautiful women to go out with him, and he can't get a date. And it never occurs to him that maybe he shouldn't have worn those glasses. And that's just the thing about that. The thing that I like the most about that retro Peter Parker head with the glasses is just that it reminds me of that character from Sin City, the psycho that had the glasses that looked an awful lot like that. So that's why I kind of keep that head around. I don't really have any use for it on a Peter Parker body, but anyway, these are just some of the Peter Parkers in my collection. I think there's like 6 or 7 Peter Parkers in my display. Most of them are the retro body with the brown jacket and the blue pants. I've got the bearded Peter Parker head from the Cosmic Spider-Man. I've got that head on one of those bodies, and I've got the original Peter Parker head from the 2-pack with Mary Jane, which was before the advent of the digital face printing. Both of the Peter Parkers you see on the left and the far right. They're the Renew Your Vows Peter Parker heads, and those have the digital face printing, so they look a little more realistic. The one from the Mary Jane 2-pack from Toys R Us, the Toys R Us exclusive from 10 years ago, it's the same head, the mold, but the paint deco I think was done by hand, and it's fine. It looks okay, but it's a little more cartoony. But it gives me another look for Peter Parker in my displays. And like I said, the Clone Saga was a real big story for me, very important in my comic book reading history. I was, I don't know, I don't even think I was 10 when I was reading the original Clone Saga in the 70s. It was sometime around there. And I just absolutely loved the whole thing with the Jackal hiring the Punisher to kill Spider-Man and him cloning Peter Parker. And there's 2 Peter Parkers. And Gwen Stacy comes back from the dead, which reminds me I got another Gwen Stacy still on the card. I need to open her up so I can have both the original Gwen and the clone Gwen. I'm not sure, because the clone Gwen is still alive and she's still out there somewhere. I'm not sure how you differentiate between the two of them, but maybe I can find another good female body to put her on, like a female civilian body, so we can have a more modern clone Gwen Stacy. That's kind of on my short list of little projects I'm working on for my Spider-Man displays. Have you got a Peter Parker or a Gwen or a Mary Jane in your display? Tell me all about it in the comments. If you would, leave a like on the video, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you find out when I upload new videos. And anything else? Yeah, share the video if you find it fun, if you like Spider-Man and his perhaps not so amazing friends like these. I think these all look pretty good. I'm happy to have them in my display. Appreciate you watching the video, and I will catch you on the next one.